things started. So let's go ahead and tune into the match. I couldn't even change the scoreboard, but there we go. Simple two clicks, and there we go. We are in our finals, guys. The finals, game number 1. It is a best of 3 series, and we got ourselves a mirror match to start things off.
It is quite a mirror match, although there's a mix. I'm surprised that Dave doesn't have a mix either. So again, just just double bans usually. So again, just not deciding to deal with the Gaialis, of course, understandable. But we'll see how they decide to play around it. Because again, Dave plays a lot more stereotypical than most of the players here. But Durk running a little bit less stereotypical, more spicy than stereotypical, if I have to consider, as you know, he runs Mashuk and Mix, while Dave runs Wimplop and Okama and Grandpa, in fact. So again, just you can already see the difference in terms of like the sort of what kind of A tier Tems they decide to pair with their F4.
Yeah, very true. You know, interesting point. Since both of these players are from the same club, who is helping out who? You know, sometimes the club members want to help each other out in the Discord chat and stuff like that. So now you're kind of torn between who do you want to help out, right? You might just let these players be and may the best player win. That might be the best line of play for the other club members. Because I would be torn. But let's see, so Durk picking up the pig, always a frustrating Temtem to go against. And same thing for Mix, if you're able to maneuver it right, make sure it doesn't get two shot, you know, the good 1-2 that most of these players are doing to the Mix. It's definitely a huge threat to deal with. But guys, just like that, let's get a little hype going. Durk versus Dave Goblino for game number 1 of our finals. One of these guys are taking home the crown.
Yeah, mirror match here to the T. 2-Vine Valorant opening. Of course, the back roster is different to both players, and that's what's going to decide this. And we know that Dave is running the aerobic Valorant, but I wonder what Durk is running.
Yeah, very true. I don't think we were keeping an eye out on Durk, but we will be able to see it as soon as the turn starts. And I guess we're gonna have to put a little bit of a rain check on that. Durk is gonna be switching out for the Pig Epic there.
So Pig Epic will be swapped in. Feather Gatling gonna tank perfectly fine by the Pig. And the Snare actually stealing what the Valorant was holding. So Feather Gatling, Crystal Plume Gatling actually gonna pummel into the Valorant. The Crystal Plume Gatling gonna trade as well. But that Snare is big. That Snare is something I want to take note of, because the Valorant was probably equipped something important. I mean,
yeah, most people run Sweatband on the bird on the Valorant, so it might have taken out the Sweatband there. We'll see how the stamina. I mean, it looks like he still got a decent amount of stamina invested, but yeah, the Sweatband just makes it that much more regenerative, if you will.
It might have been a hand fan actually, as it is an aerobic Valorant, so it doesn't really care about stamina. More so, it's not. This
one's not. It just did Feather Gatling right onto the Pig, and it didn't increase speed. So I think we're confusing it with Matt Gia's Valorant. I think this one is indeed anaerobic, right? Because it just did Feather Gatling.
All right, that makes more sense now. So again, as you mentioned, most likely probably did take out Sweatband. We'll have to see if potentially Dave is running a Sweatband on something else. As far as I remember, I don't remember any other Tem. I don't see the sweat. I don't recall seeing the Sweatband proc. Is the thing. So it's
yeah, sometimes when we're not looking out for, it's hard to catch those things, but we will try our best to catch it here in our finals. The Valorant going to be switched out for the Wimplump, so we could be just getting a good turbo setup for the side of Durk, and usually the first one to get those turbos set up, but no, we get the bamboozle onto the Pig.
Crystal Plume Gatling again, just firing another volley of damage put by the Wimplump. And the Okama dynamic duo, probably the worst matchup for the 2-Vine here, as special defense is very low.
Yeah, we didn't get a setup turn last turn. I think this is about the best it gets. The Okama could be going off with a turbo, and then the Pig with the turbo. But maybe if he doesn't want to take too much of the risk, you could switch out your 2-Vine for most likely the Voldaren, apply that toxic pressure back onto both of these water Tems. That might actually be a little bit better line of play there.
Tuvan will be swapped out here for the Voldaren, as we usually saw. We'll have to see how this goes. Turbo choreograph as well. The speed of the pace of the Ukama Wimplump, and the freeze comp is incredibly dangerous if it does come down to it. Wimplump though will be falling asleep, and speed is not what you want when your Tem is asleep, because then that means that waking him up does nothing.
Yeah, so interesting enough, Durk just being a little bit, I guess, conservative with these turbos, not trying to deploy them too soon, just trying to go a little bit more on the offensive. But yeah, I thought it was a perfect turbo turn, but I think just wanted to sleep the Wimplump so we don't get none of that free shenanigans, the good cold breeze followed by the tsunami. Because now with that +2 speed on both of those Tems, that guarantees those Tems to attack first.
Ooh. The water cannon as well gonna land onto the Pig Epic. Will secure its fate. Bamboozle lands on the Voldaren as well, just to keep it safe, but it doesn't seem like Dave really cares about the Voldaren here. But Noxious Bomb though, gonna severely punish the Ukama. Doesn't drop it at half, so still
you know, Blue,
survive.
and I'm not trying to down talk Durk or anything like that, but maybe he was playing during the old Bamboozle and he's used to Bamboozle lasting more than just that 1 or 2 turns. And that's why he's been prioritizing those Bamboozles, like where we saw turn 2 where he Bamboozled the pig, maybe thinking the pig was going to be outlasted, you know, the Bamboozle will last. I know he knows the changes, but sometimes it's hard to kill old habits, but just trying to point that out. But most likely Durk does know what he's doing, just getting a bit out-predicted, not too out-predicted, but just not getting those turbos off just yet.
Yeah, just not getting the Bamboozles right, perhaps, maybe the problem there. But of course, still being, it's still quite close, so you can't really say for sure, right, if someone has the perfect advantage over the other. So we'll have to see how it continues to play out. It's not over yet, of course, as both players still have all 5 Tems on the field, still primed and ready. The Pig Epic guaranteed to die, though. And that's important, because we might see double up coming up from Dave. Take out the Voldaren or a double swap here.
Yeah, I think it's very important for Durk to at least get the turbo choreography here. The pig will die this turn, so he needs to get the speed off. I mean, maybe go for a hypno play, but I think you definitely want your Voldaren to get that speed there. Especially since the Ukama and the Wimplump already have +2 speed. And decides to go, yeah, maybe not digging the speed, not too worried about the speed, going for the hypnosis, but Dave reading it beautifully, picking the mental and the energy drink target onto the board, so no matter where the pick hypnosis, it wasn't gonna land.
That Pig Epic, I just feel like that pig didn't feel as impactful as I would have hoped, right? I mean, the hypnosis did solid, the Bamboozles did what was used once, but it just doesn't feel like the Pig Epic was that beneficial to me. Again, we'll see how Durk plays this following continual rounds, but still the Kinu and Tutuvine still here is the swap out rather, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, and I think it just might be coming down to the fact that Dave's just playing around those Bamboozles pretty beautifully. Instead of attacking into the pig, he just decides to switch out, kind of wasting that Bamboozle for that turn. That does leave Durk. The only available Temtem with those turbos available will be the Mashuk, but maybe not really prioritizing the turbos. It's not gonna make a huge difference, but sometimes on turbos like on Voldaren and the Tuvines, usually a little bit slower Temtem, it does end off paying off.
Feather Gatling going to land again. Dave Goblino's Voldaren is getting quite low, and a double up will secure that kill. So 1-for-1 trade, but the stamina is not favoring him too much. Feather Gatling gonna land as well. So again, the damage proportions still favor Dave Goblino a little bit.
Yeah, but huge play. doubling up on that right slot, intended for Kinu, but going into the Volrant, guaranteeing the kill. So 1 Tem down on each side, the pick for Durk and the Volrant for Dave Goblino. But yeah, everything's still relatively healthy. Yukama a little bit low, but the health advantage still solid. Durk pretty much at all green HP.
Turbo gonna buff up the speed again. The speed game is no longer in the control or favor of Durk, but he gets the solid pick off on Kinu. One-shots it out of this universe. Crystal Gatling as well will pummel the Two-Vine a bit more, but the Two-Vine's incredible defense will make sure that is not as efficient. Feather Gatling on the Volrant will do some decent damage, but that one-shot, perfect kill on the...
Yeah, it's either Kinu with no defenses or just Volrant with really high attack, maybe max attack, I'm not too sure. But yeah, Kinu going down, it was at decent HP. But now Yukama hitting the board. But Volrant's still here. We saw how much damage it did to the Kinu. And I believe Noxious Bomb took it down to that 50.5, so it won't be killing the Yukama, but taking it dangerously low. But here we go, Tsunami will be deployed onto that Yukama.
Tsunami connects, but no cold follow-up as Bump is still in the back, but the Feather Gatling, or Crystal Plume Gatling, will take out the Volrant. So again, back to square one, just trading for trading. And Water Aquatic Whirlwind, still very terrifying prospect for the side of Durk, as that will be very susceptible to the Two-Vine.
Yeah, and actually the turbo choreography from Kinu actually paying a huge amount of dividends there, as the Two-Vine outsped the Volrant since there was no turbo on the Volrant. And yeah, the Crystal Plume going before the Noxious Bomb onto the Yukama. So yeah, really good play for Dave Goblino. And I'm not too sure what the peck was about. Maybe misclick, maybe... I'm not too sure because the Kinu was already dead. I'm not too sure what the peck was about. Maybe he can explain to us whenever he's around. But yeah, a little bit perplexing, but I'm sure there was a reason. Maybe you know, when you switch out a move and then you don't change it out your team and you still have it, a little bit of that bug. It could have been something like that. Possibly just conserving stamina too. You know, conserving stamina. And actually no, the line of play was, of course, Peck and Noxious Bomb. Noxious Bomb doing 49.5%. So yeah, the Peck bring it under 50%. And yeah, Noxious Bomb doing the remainder of that. So that was the line of play for Durk. But ended up not working so well with the Two-Vine being +2 speed. Alright,
Aquatic Whirlwind again. As I mentioned, will do a lot of damage, but Two-Vine will survive actually. It's managing to survive, but Urushiol as well will do some punishment. But Yukama is so tanky. Feather Gatling will shut it down, and we might see another 1-for-1 trade. It's just blow for blow, these two players going at it. But the Two-Vine, we'll see he got some rest, which means that the overexerted Two-Vine will probably have to leave here if he wants another chance to fight. But this Mashuk does not look like it's in a very safe spot.
Yeah, definitely not at all. Staring down with the Wimplump. But yeah, could switch out for the mix, but has to be careful. I mean, I do think a Tornado is available to the Wimplump. I don't think Tornado takes it down into Puppet Master range, but actually it probably is. It probably will, depending on those TVs. But yeah, 2 Wind Tems, the speed +2 speed on both of those Tems versus the mix, Mashuk and Two-Vine. Two-Vine most likely going down here. But maybe the mix could clean up. I mean, the Two-Vine has 2 protector buffs from that Kinu, so it will be a little bit more tankier than we're used to seeing from the Two-Vines. So mix might not be in a whole lot of damage. But players thinking about their next move, going into that 1 minute reserve time. And Durk's 2-Vine did overexert last turn, so you know the only attacks coming out this turn is from that Mashuk. But if Mashuk wants to retreat, then there will be no attacks dealt for the following turn. Or sorry, for this turn. And yeah, I see why he's taking his time. It's kind of complicated because Wimplum could go for something like a Tsunami, keep it above Puppet Master range, and then the CPG from 2-Vine gonna be cleaning it up. But yeah, not trying to get you baited there, keeping the Mashuk in.
Tsunami used to potentially freeze the Mashuk. Turbo Kugaf actually tried to speed up rather just speed up the Mashuk in that case. Then the Gatling gonna come out and the punishment already begins. And Tornado is available in the Whiplum. I am not feeling confident that this Mashuk will survive very long. So it'll be up to the mix to potentially pick off the 2-Vine as soon as possible.
Yeah, but at this health with those 2+2 special defense, I think it's gonna be at least 2 Crystal Spikes to take down the 2-Vine. The Tornado coming out from Wimplum this turn should be enough to clean up the Mashuk. And then it's gonna be mixed. It doesn't matter if you have Puppet Master or not. But instead going for mix. So with the good old 1-2 Sharp Rain followed by the Crystal Plume. Not even worried about the Mashuk there.
Oh, shutting down the mix completely with the Crystal Plume Gatling. Making sure that the biggest threat is out of the board. And the Mashuk, you can already see the difference in damage. There's just not enough. Unfortunately, Tornado will secure the final kill on the Mashuk. No, not necessarily, but it is not looking very good.
Yeah, not yet, but one Cold Breeze followed by the Feather Gatling. Either way, there's no way to come back from this. Dave Goblino will be the winner. That plus speed is actually made a good amount of the difference. Usually you do see that the player that gets the turbos first gets a little bit of that momentum, and Dave this time was the player with the turbo choreographies first, especially from the 2-Vine, from the Yukama, from that. And they got into it quick. These players might be on comms themselves. So Durk going with just the classic Voloran Yukama start, and Dave going with a pretty traditional start too, the Voloran and 2-Vine.
Interesting start already. I mean, classic openings, but it's all about how the mind games go out, especially in such a close mirror match like this. Durk was just slightly one step behind.
Yeah, I think he knows where things went a little south for him, so Durk trying to make those adjustments here for game 2. Both ban the same temp, so Giala's going to be the insta ban for these players. And now Dave eyeing the 2-Vine. Didn't like what the 2-Vine was doing last game. It's always, I mean, 2-Vine being crystals, always a messy one to try to deal with. Instead goes with the Mashuk. I mean, he does have the wind pressure. I'm not too sure why he would go for Mashuk, but maybe just doesn't like those uppercuts onto the 2-Vine, those P-jabs onto his Voloran. And yeah, I guess that's the only Temtem that really resists those water cannons and the aquatic whirlwinds for the side of Durk. So yeah, not a bad ban there.
Kinu as well gonna come out.
And alright, the mix was picked up for the last Temtem on Durk's team. Who is taking this home? Is Dave Goblino gonna be taking the crown for a second time in these tournaments? Or is Durk gonna try to get things going into a game 3? Everything will be decided right here in game number 2 of our finals.
Dave, with that very attack-based opening, could potentially one-shot the Okama if Durk is not careful, but decides not to try and push his luck. We'll swap A straight into the pig, actually. A bit more defensive.
Yeah,
but the water
playing it
cannon will
safe,
come out.
doesn't want the Tuvine to eat that toxic synergized water cannon, so instead wants to eat it with the pig. But a double up onto that left stop, doing a significant amount of damage onto the pig, already down below 40%, and adding those 2 ticks of poison, it will be clearly into that red health bar.
The pig epic already so low, so massive. But the question is if the Ukama stays in. I doubt it, as that Noxious Bomb is gonna pick him off. But I mean, we'll see. If the no, this Ukama's definitely swapping out. The thing is if the pig will stay in, as right now it's quite low. And if he gets another hit in, that will be a problem.
Yeah, so not taking the risk. Oh, and the pig does stay in. Do we get like a Feather Gatling to try to get into the poison range? Let's see. Feather Gatling onto the pig. Is it enough? Yes, it is enough. So perfectly calculated for Durk.
Yeah, the trade back from Dave will not let that sacrifice go to waste. And the speed up is very solid, as again, Voloran cannot speed itself up if it is an aerobic. So Hyperkinetic Strike is much more effective on the side of Dave's, but still is a potential threat, as now Durk is basically in the same spot as Dave, except unfortunately Dave does not have you come out to punish, and Durk is just in a better spot right now, and this back and forth is so solid.
Yeah, very, very solid, the back and forth, but Durk getting a little bit of the advantage from those exchanges, already taking down the pig. The pig is always usually so important with those things like Bamboozle, the Hypnosis, the Turbo Choreographies. Fortunately, before going down, he was able to get 1 turbo off onto the Voloran, so not the worst. And yeah, looking at the teams though, they literally have identical teams, except of course the Kinu and the Mix. We'll see if the Kinu makes all the difference for Dave, or on the other side of the coin, right? The Mix makes all the difference for Durk. It's always a little bit feels bad when you have that Crystal Spiker facing down against that anaerobic Voloran, but of course that's not the one that's going to be doing all the damage. You're trying to look at the Tuvine, have that physical pressure, trying to take down the the Voloran on Dave's side. So a little bit of a complicated turn, but gonna be switching out the Voloran for the Tuvine, potentially setting up, the Turbo Choreography play.
Beative as well. The Feather Gatling gonna detank that perfectly fine here, but Crystal Plume Gatling not so much. Will do a bit more. But still, Durk definitely has the advantage on the field with how much he's already trying to set up.
Yeah, but Tuvine eats it way better than that Voloran, so good switch out for Durk there. Still takes a good amount of damage though, 39%. But now with the pig being +2, we could be seeing some Hypnosis. Of course, it was confirmed that the Tuvine did have the energy drink, so you want to be careful. You don't want to forget it. And yeah, I guess, no, I mean, there's not too much, there's no good play, right? There's no like clear standard play. I mean, Tuvine's gonna get the most value from attacking the Voloran, trying to take it down. So potentially just Crystal Plume into the Voloran slap. Bamboozle the Tuvine to keep it relatively safe.
swap in again, Bamboozle as well, defending the 2-Vine from any potential damage. Crystal Plume Gatling again. This 2-Vine is a monster. Crystal Plume Gatling, dodged. Of course, Dave. I mean, looking at the HP pools, the Dave is currently in the rough spot as again 5v4 and losing HP and not trading enough. Quite unfortunate.
Yeah, and the biggest difference maker might be this pig is still at 100%, so no one's attacked it. I think Dave is being a little bit wary on who he wants to snare, or sorry, what Temtem wants to get snared for this game too. Maybe Yukama usually has Tukma Mask, not the biggest loss. It's already close to 50% damage. But swapping out 2-Vine for the Yukama, Bamboozle onto it, keeping it safe for this turn. And we get ourselves a turbo play, so the 2-Vine not going up +2 speed. And I think that was his first turbo for 2-Vine on Dave's side. And there it goes, it will be snaring the energy drink from 2-Vine, so that actually might be pretty monumental. You know, Hypnosis could be going on 2-Vine a little bit down the road, preventing that 2-Vine from doing a good amount of damage for that 1-2 turns. But looking at Dave's 2-Vine, it is completely out of stamina here, so most likely thinking about switching out. Good switch out could be that Volerant to try to get that toxic synergy onto the Yukama.
Yeah, but if he does swap into more, again, it just ruins a lot more HP. We'll swap into the Volerant as mentioned. We'll just try and tank a couple of hits. So Nami will come out as well to punish, or try to punish this team, but evasion is there. Yukama is fine, and the Volerant will be okay with that. Turbo Choreograph as well, gonna speed up the Volerant, and this is the problem. Now, matching the speed that the opponent Pig Epic did for Dave. Now there's not even that to consider for the side of Durk. Now it's just basically just as fast as Dave. And this is
yeah,
really...
it looks like literally every Tem on both of their boards, or sorry, both of their teams are exactly identical in speed. So it's gonna come down to where they train their speed in terms of TVs, or sorry, their TVs in terms of their training. But yeah, +2 equally on each other's Tem, so +2 on the 2-Vines, +2 on the Yukamas. There was +2 on the Pig, but Dave's Pig is down right now. And yeah, +2 on the Volerant, so literally the mirror match to the T right now.
Kino comes out as well with the Volerant. Water Cannon will land and connect. Luckily, it is a water type attack, so it'll affect too much, but the Noxious Bomb, certainly a toxic type, and look at that devastation. Kino drops to 18% into lethal range if it does not revitalize. Feather Gatling as well, gonna do a decent chunk. But this is what I mean, Dave is losing so much HP, he's bleeding out a lot of HP right now, and this is the issue I'm concerned about. How is he gonna deal with this situation?
Yeah, I mean, he hadn't assumed the Noxious Bomb was going there, as it pretty much was directed toward the Yukama, so Kinu switch was a little brave. But yeah, I guess just wanting to guarantee that +1 defense on the Volerant, that way the 2-Vine won't be doing as much. But yeah, Kinu most likely just staying in here, trying to do a last ditch move, most likely the Turbo Choreography play. But we saw how much damage Dave Goblino's Volerant did on Durk's Volerant, so he can't take more of those. One more of those is going to be taking him all the way down to the single digits. So perhaps a double up, but no, Kinu probably wants to get off that turbo. We will see here though, Yukama is going to be retreating, 2-Vine is going to be coming out.
Valoran swap in, so Turbo Choreograph as well, trying to match up, and
Ooh.
again, similar to how Epic was played, is being used as a sacrifice just to make sure that the Valoran speeds up, but the attack down is actually quite big there for the Valoran. The Feather Gatling is the only way it punishes. I mean, Noxious Bomb as well, an attack-based attack, and you can see how little that did at Two-Vine.
Alright, so we started with the mirror match. We're here halfway through it. We're not truly halfway, but you know, in turn 9, a little bit of the mirror match, but the health advantage is significantly on Dave's side of the board for the time being. Valoran, if it was taking good damage from Dave's Valoran, it can't take another hit from the Two-Vine here. So most likely thinking about switching out the Valoran, trying to save it a little bit down the road to try to take care of the Yukama in the back line. But it might not matter too much, the mix is still in the back line as well. But Dave definitely not out of this fight just yet. He is at a disadvantage in terms of the Temtem still remaining.
The Valoran and the Two-Vine has to put in the work here for Dave, now at 3 Tems. And again, Durk hasn't lost a single Tem yet. They're all at a solid HP position as well.
Yeah, so Valoran not trying to go down to the Two-Vine, gonna be eating up that damage with the pig. So Toxic Plume, you won't get the minus attack on the Two-Vine thanks to that determined trait as we mentioned before. But just gets the good poison damage. Crystal Plume on to the Valoran. Thanks to the Kinu, not as much damage as it usually would have done.
Oh no, the Two-Vine punished as well by the opposing Crystal Plume Gatling. I mean, this might be the first kill for the side of Dave, and this is the issue where every Tem is low. Maybe perhaps on Durk is that you're gonna be in a position, if you're not faster than the enemy, you're gonna lose them very quickly, one by one, until they run out of, until your opponent runs out of stamina. And of course, Dave's team, if you look at their stamina pools, is quite high. So I'm not sure what Durk will try and play out here, but definitely he has to get more damage, or at least pick off the Valoran or the Two-Vine, maybe just to continue this punishment. Feather Gatling will secure that kill on the Two-Vine for sure there. So nothing. No response there from the side of Durk, but the Hypnosis though, gonna be solid. Shuts down the highest buff temp in the game right now.
Yeah, and the Crystal Plume gonna be taking the pig dangerously low, so once the Valoran wakes up, if it's able to do another Toxic Plume, it should be enough. That's of course if Durk wants to keep the pig in, which he most likely will not be keeping in. But really smart of him, bring out the Yukama while the bird is sleeping, trying to pressure down the Two-Vine here. And the only Tem in the back line is the opposing Yukama. So again, we might get the wind synergize, sorry, not the wind synergize, the toxic synergized water cannon onto that Two-Vine slot. Oh, with the peck onto the Valoran, Toxic Plume is going to be going in crazy calculations, knowing despite Valoran being +4 speed, the peck with that 4 prio going to be outspeeding it.
Water Cannon connects though, does not let that attack based reduction matter. I mean Wakama doesn't care, right? So still in a dangerous position, as Aquatic Whirlwind will one-shot the Two-Vine. Swapping into Wakama doesn't do anything, as Wakama will most likely get picked off as well. And this is the situation we are in. If Valoran can pick off Wakama with Noxious Bomb, that will be it for that, but Aquatic Whirlwind's quite fast as well.
Yeah, very, very fast. I don't know if it's going to be enough to one-shot it, but of course the poison will clean it up, but that means Two-Vine might get off another attack before doing so. But actually, Valoran with the +4 speed, maybe the Noxious Bomb should be going first. If anything, a Toxic Plume should be going here. Let's see what he decided to deploy. So both Temtem on Durk's side will be swapped out. Did not want to lose that attack onto that Valoran, but instead goes with Feather Gatling.
Epic still alive. Plume Gatling actually picked up the pig. Fainted Curse will pop the 2-vine for sure now. I mean, he overexerts as well. Just get brutalized there.
Yeah, just choosing to sack the 2-vine, I guess so. But man, imagine Blue if the Crystal Plume would have been directed onto the mix. That would have been a huge 5-head read, and the mix would have gone down there.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it did not work out, but we'll see. Aquatic Wound might potentially turn this around, but this is a really hard fight for the side of Dave. He is against... I mean, his Valorant is still quite a monster, actually, now that I see it. So that might be the turning point. That might be how he wins this.
Yeah, very, very true. +5 special defense, so Mix not going to be doing anything to the Valorant. Yukama not going to be doing anything to the Valorant. And Durk's Valorant is also -1 attack, so not going to be doing too much. Both of these opponents' 2-vines, the real answer to these birds, aren't alive anymore. So let's see how it's going to play out. Hyper Kinetic Strike onto the Yukama.
Feather Gatling as well, just punishing the Valorant as much as possible. Water Cannon connects on the Mix, but that's not what you want. Well, Crystal Plume Gatling as well might be very effective here for the side, because now the Mix is now low. Well, but still, Valorant versus the World. We'll see if the World is able to push through against this. On the side of Durk here is slower, so his Valorant will be going down if he's not careful.
Yeah, we saw how much the Feather Gatling did. Even with that minus attack, yeah, it's going to be going first. So Valorant's down, and Mix, we are already confirmed with +5 special defense. Nothing the Mix has is going to be doing enough. But if there was a saving grace for Durk, Valorant on Dave's side did have to overexert to do so. But yeah, once this overexertion is done, a Toxic Plume will be enough. None of these Tems have enough in the tank to take this Valorant down.
And neither are effective enough. +5 special defense. Quadruple, or not, sorry, triple the defense of its base form. This Valorant, again, the classic problem. Look how little that did. That did 2.1% damage. That Ukama has hydrologist and maximum special attack.
Yeah, and as we alluded to, one Toxic Plume will be enough. It looks like Dave Goblino will be taking this one home in a game, in just simply 2 games. So absolutely incredible stuff coming from Dave. And guys, give a big congratulations to Dave Goblino taking it home for the second.